Hello. My name is Long Lei, and this is my submission for assignment 8, the fluid simulation. So here is the part 1 of the code where we're showing the functionality of it. So the purpose of this assignment is to basically create like a splashing animation when there's like a sudden tilt or when the water hit the wall. So if you can see, if I rotate around right here, you can see how the water is bouncing on the opposite side as there's a sudden tilt detected. So right there, if I sudden tilt there, the water, if I turn to right, the one on the left bounce, and to the left, the one on the right bounce. And if you see push the quadrant in the corner, you see how it's all gathering up like that. And yep, that's just how it worked, functionality wise. The water will gather, there would be splashing animation. Right, and then moving on to the code demonstration, I can talk about it really quick. So for the code, one of the first thing that I changed is in the update pan tilt right here, where the delta x and delta z, these two values just basically compute the change between the current and the previous tilt. And then moving on, this decay tilt back to center over time, that just basically gradually return the band tilt back to center by the multiply of like 0.98, because before in the original code, the pan pretty much just kind of instantly teleport back to the original position. So this just allow it to slowly move back. And then the detect certain tilt, where is it? Oh, the code is missing. Give me a sec. I need to bring it over again. There. That's the part of the code that's missing. So the detect this section of code right here just basically detect the sudden tilt. If there's a sudden tilt occur, like basically more than 1.0, this is just a value I kind of made up. But in any direction, it will trigger a splash in the water. And then the previous pan tilt X, the previous pan tilt Z, just update the previously like tilt value and store the new value for comparison for the next frame. Moving on, the next thing I add is in the particle class where I basically add like a damping force. This will just basically reduce the velocity when a particle hit a wall. This act almost like a friction force, and just yeah, that's basically like that. And then the repulsion radius is just the range within the which the particle push away from each other. And then the strength right here is just how strong is the repulsion force is. And moving on, this part apply repulsion. This will calculate the distance between particle and another. If they're too close, apply a weak propulsion force to push them apart, and the force is reduced as distance increase. This is just basically like an inverse wear law. And then the effect is subtle, but it will also just prevent the particle from overlapping unless there's like a sudden tilt and the water basically push up and over. And then this part right here in the update. So this part right here is just apply gravity, make the particle fall down in basically a Vy increase. The Vy I think we verified earlier, which is 9.81, which is the gravity value. And then apply tilt force right here. This just use the sine function to calculate how much the pan tilt affect the water flow. If the pan tilt, the water move in basically the corresponding position. And finally, this part is the main part right here, where if the pan is tilted too quickly, or there's like a sudden movement, the particle will get like a small vertical boost, which is just Vy plus 0.2, to just simulate like a splashing effect. And this can be just changed pretty much any value, but I just keep it 0.2 because I feel like that's already quite strong enough. But yeah. And then lastly, the thing that I added is the splash right here, where it just basically create 10 new particle. This just basically the number of like splash particle that will be generated when each burst of movement. It will then randomly position the particle and will place the new particle within a pan area, which is just the x and z between I think -3 and 3. It's just help the splash appear more naturally spread out instead of like concentrated in one point. And the x, y, x, vx, vy, and vz right here. This is just the velocity component that will get randomized. So Vx gonna be the left and right motion, Vy gonna be the upward movement, and Vz gonna be the forward and backward motion. This just help the splash burst outward in the multiple direction. So Vy gets stronger than Vx and Vz, just making the water jump upward when flashing. And then finally, I just add it onto particle. It's just like a newly created particle that are added to the main particle list, making them like a part of the simulation in general, which then get called later, I think, an update over here. But yeah, that's pretty much all the code I did for this assignment. Thank you very much.